a crypto investor or possibly even a beginner, number one, educate yourself, be aware of the bear market, be aware of the bull market and what's to come throughout them, what to expect, and kind of what to watch out for. Number two, do your research. We're going to talk about Bitcoin halving, what it means, what it could mean for the market in the next year, and also discuss a little bit of Bitcoin's history and what you should do to kind of educate yourself there as well. All right, number three, make sure that you're not buying the news, sell the news. We're going to talk about what that means. And lastly, when you're up, don't be greedy. Sell what you have as far as profit and look into maybe some dollar cost averaging. The stat's going to blow your mind. Probably around 90% of the cryptocurrency that exists. Yes, there's over around 20,000 cryptocurrencies that have been created since 2009 when Bitcoin was actually created. 90% of those cryptos are not going to be around during our next bear market. Okay, so bear market just being when the market's down, when there's not a lot of trust, a lot of buy-in in the entire market as a whole, and you're seeing a lot of investors pulling their money out, whether that's a retail investor like you and I, or institutional investors who may have been getting involved through Grayscale, as mentioned in our previous video. But all in all, just loss of essentially mass buy-in in the market for a period of time is what a bear market would be considered by myself. Okay, now in a bull market, that's when markets are popping off. This is when most people are going to be getting involved in cryptocurrency, when you're having the Elon Musks of the world talk about crypto on SNL, when you're seeing so much hype around crypto on your Facebook, on your Instagram, everywhere, and you can't seem to avoid it. That's because there are powers that be that are pushing it at the time, making sure that everyone is aware of it. Why? Well, there's a lot of people that own a lot of Bitcoin, and a lot of people that happen to own a lot of Bitcoin happen to also be billionaires, millionaires, people that when they move markets, when they move their currencies around, it's doing exactly that, moving markets. Okay, so when you're looking at the price of Bitcoin being at an all-time high in 2021 November, $65,000, and you see a significant dip shortly after that, almost immediately to $45,000 after losing its support. That wasn't you and I selling it off. That was a handful of people considered as whales selling their profits and leaving people holding the bag, essentially. Your own research and understanding Bitcoin halving. All right, so as mentioned on number one, most people that are getting in for the first time into crypto are doing so during the bull market, or when things are just up. And so the problem with that is not understanding, why they're up, understanding whether, okay, does this actually have long-term use case that's going to last during the next bear market, or does this have just a lot of hype around it? Am I buying into this out of FOMO? Did my friend talk about it and say, hey, you should get into this project, I just made a whole bunch of money on it, and now are you starting to feel like, oh, I need to get in on that project? Well, if you've ever felt like that with cryptocurrency, make sure that you're doing your own research. Best thing to do is pull up coinmarketcap.com and just research the top 100 coins. If that's too much, that is a lot. Research the first top 10, find out why they're the top 10. Look into them. They've likely been around for a very long time, no matter which one you look at. When I say that, I'm just referring to since Bitcoin's inception. A lot of them have been around shortly after that. For instance, Ethereum, Litecoin, there's a handful of them that kind of came about a handful of years later, but are some of the more original coins that have been through cycles, bear markets, bull markets. Regardless of the market, they have investors that truly buy into their projects. So do your research, make sure that you're buying into a project that you actually believe in, no matter several of them that have happened so far, and there is one that's coming up soon. I'll throw a picture of kind of what the market has looked like during these halvenings. And what a halvening is essentially when the miners who are responsible for getting the Bitcoin, accumulating them Bitcoin, and essentially being rewarded by the blockchain itself with Bitcoin as their kickback or reward for housing the machines in their house and running the electricity and everything that it comes with, and for terms of mining a Bitcoin. And now why that's so important is there's around 19.5 million of the Bitcoin currently owned. I think it's more like 19.25 million currently owned of the 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be owned. And what happens with supply and demand, I'm not giving it financial advice here, but you can just make your own assumption there in terms of what's currently owned, what was owned during the last bear market, which was a very high percentage of Bitcoin. As mentioned, it's a lot of whales, a lot of big names, a lot of big investors that when they move their money around in the markets, it moves the entire market. The last bear market that we were in, there was a stat I saw out there that somewhere around 70%, 80%, something like that, of retail investors that had their money in Bitcoin kept their money in Bitcoin, even when it was down from 65K to, 15 grand. So with that, that shows a lot of promise, a lot of trust in the Bitcoin specifically market. And with that, you see Bitcoin go up, you see the rest of the entire market go up. Now halving, why that, as I said, is so important is the supply and demand factors in. When the miners are experiencing this next halving, essentially what's happening is every 4 years, the rewards that are going to the miners are being cut in half. And as said, their rewards are paid out in Bitcoin. So
made it this far in the video, I appreciate you more than you know. If you could go ahead and like and subscribe, that would be awesome. But last but not least for this video, Bitcoin Standard. If it's something that you're interested in, what you just watched, I would definitely recommend reading the Bitcoin Standard before looking into any investments in terms of Bitcoin. I swear I'm not being paid or anything like that. I'm not getting a kickback, but I genuinely want anybody that's involved in crypto or potentially getting involved in crypto to understand the risk and invest wisely.